Good morning, everybody. It's Wednesday, the 18th of December, and I'm going to give you radiation update number 3. Um, Let me start by sort of giving you a little analogy. Last week was a pretty interesting week. This is day 13 of my treatments, the total number of 20. So I wanted to just give you an update of how things have been going and what's happened in the last week, and a little bit extra on the side. Let's start with an analogy. Have you ever seen anybody make a pie? Let's say you're making a blueberry pie. First, you roll out the dough and flatten it so you can fill it with the ingredients. And we already said it's going to be blueberry. So you pour the blueberry mixture in, and you make a mistake. You put in so much that it's come to the edges of the dough, and there's no way for you to roll it up to make the actual side for the crust so it looks like a pie and not like a pizza. At any rate, picture a prostate being that laid out dough, and the cancer tumor goes all the way around right to the very edges of that form that you've made. Well, I had a very interesting session with my urologist last week on Friday, and he showed me on the screen every day they take a CT scan, and then they do whatever radiation work they're going to do. And he showed me how they went in and sort of chiseled away at the side around the tumor itself. And they did that every day. And then they take a new CT and they do it again the next day. And that continued, and that's gone on now for 13 days. The bottom line is, on the final scan that he showed me, they showed me how they had cleared the space all the way around the tumor that showed now there's room between the tumor and the prostate wall. And I say that just to give you an indication of what happens while they did that. And the interesting part is they do all of this and you don't feel it. You know, there's no narcosis, there's no anything. They just destroy those cells and keep chipping away and cutting down the size of the tumor. So that's what's been happening during this time. The side effects have been, they've been up and down, but nothing that's not manageable, not anything that would make you think, oh my God, I don't want to do this. That's not there. And again, let me preface by saying, because I'm in palliative care and not curative treatment, I'm getting smaller doses. So that might be different from other people. The reason I'm saying all of this is just to sort of finally come up and say that if the fear of the radiation itself is in your mind and your considerations about whether or not you should go through radiation therapy, my personal feeling right now is that if you're early stage cancer, then the fear of the radiation treatment itself should not be the deterring factor. There may be other things involved. For me, the major problems, like there was some pretty serious pain once or twice from the after effects. Don't know exactly what caused it, but in terms of its effectiveness, the major bleeding that I was having prior to the radiation treatment is gone. The pains that I was having in my kidney area is gone. I think the pressure from the prostate pressing on this and that and the other have dissipated that. So that pain has dissipated considerably. It's moved to a couple different areas now, but the radiation should not be why you don't want to go through treatment. Now, having said that, once again, let me say the purpose of all this is not to influence you or tell you do this or don't do that, or it's simply my attempt to put information out there from a firsthand individual. I've gathered, since I got my diagnosis, I've tried to gather information from whatever source I could. 9 times out of 10, you put something on your search and you get an AI generated summary, or you get some proponent of a medication or something trying to tell you that their product is this or their product. I'm not into any of that. I'm not for or against any of this stuff that you might run across. I'm simply trying to give you a non-robotic, not AI generated view of what I've gone through. Let you take that and say, oh, that sounds reasonable, or that makes sense, or this guy's crazy. That's entirely up to you. I'm just putting it on the table so that you can see it for yourself. Having said that, that's pretty much it. I can tell you that I've started counting down the days to the end of this treatment, simply because I want to get back to it. Okay, I guess I'm going to have to fire my technician. We had a little glitch there. So this is a little bit patchy. So let's get back to the critical elements. The things that came out of last week, the hospice nurse was here, and their question is, what is the end game? If things don't go badly, worse, whatever, however you want to phrase it, then I may have to be taken off a hospice. Don't know if that's a bad thing. So I, in turn, asked the doctor that, and that's why he explained to me what the actual procedure is and how it looks. And this is the problem. The doctor says that the rule for putting someone on hospice is when they think that that person has 6 months or less to live. The problem is that my body is not listening to the diagnosis, and I'm sort of getting like the body that cried wolf. Like in the story, the body keeps saying, okay, it's time, and then it turns around and it's not time. So right now I'm at a situation where I guess, and I've said this in other posts, the cancer and its effect on your body isn't always the hardest thing. It affects your mind and your mental state sometimes even more. And this up and down, am I not, that is, there's been some times that it's kind of sort of getting to me, and I'm not really sure sometimes how to evaluate it or how to deal with it. I've retired from Lifetime now 3 times. I don't know if I can go back. I may have to start looking for a job, because I had a plan, and I guess somebody forgot to tell my body. So I'll just have to play this out and see what comes in the not too distant future. The plan from the doctor's side is we'll finish the radiation therapy on the 30th of December. Then they want to wait 2 months because it takes some time for all the effects of the radiation to be concluded. And at that point, they'll take another PSA test and do some more scans and see where we stand. Bottom line now is the PSA is the measuring stick, and it's gone down from about 1,200 to 674, which is a considerable drop. They'd like to see it drop further because 674 is still a long way from the measuring stick, which is 4. But there's nothing we can do except sit and watch. He did say that, and I found out that because in our conversation, after I explained to him that I was no longer really against radiation, I don't see it as a problem. He said, "Well, then, are you open for further treatments?" And I said, "Wait a second. I don't feel like letting this run its course and then doing it again in 6 months." And then he said, "No, no, 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 no. That's not an option. You can only get radiation treatment once. After that, we can do some other therapies. There's surgery. There's hormone therapy of various types." And but then he said, in an aside, "But in your case, surgery is not an option." So there again, it's, yeah, we can help you, we can slow it down, but we can't cure it. And I'm not into playing whack-a-mole with this thing. So I just got to try to figure it out. And that's kind of like the hard part, trying to decide exactly where am I going and what am I going to do. So I'll just have to wait and see, and keep putting this stuff up to help people hopefully make a decision in their treatment procedures. The bottom line that I can give you is that the sooner you get an evaluation, the sooner you get a diagnosis, then you've got time to look at all the options and decide whether or not you're going to go with surgery, whether you want to go with radiation or whatever, because you're in a curable state. So that's all I'm trying to do, is let you see what's been going on with me and my experience with cancer, and let you choose for yourself whether, like I said, this is more AI generated bullshit, or whether you want to say, okay, well, we'll see. At any rate, I just wanted to finish up by saying, again, don't take any of this as medical knowledge. It's just me. And this is what I've gone through. I'll try and keep you posted on what goes on, although I don't expect there to be many differences between these first 2+ weeks and the rest of the time. I can say, in addition, I did go out on Friday night and I had a good meal Friday, and I ate a little bit on Saturday morning, and then got back into the routine. And that's why I'm counting down the days, because I'm getting a little tired of that. But other than that, I'm okay. The hospice thing and what other symptoms may show up, or whether the cancer decides to go someplace else, I don't know. The doctors don't know, and that's one of the bad things about cancer is, like the doctor told me, it's unpredictable. So we'll just have to wait and see.